Kia ora guys, Bird here. Welcome to episode 4 of Thaumcraft for Addons. We can see that I've added another, block sector. I've planted another silverwood tree over here by our magical forest to go ahead and extend it. It's mostly grown in. There are still a couple of blocks on the fringes. There's one there. I think actually this corner's done. Yeah, and it looks like there's a block missing here. There's only just a handful of little blocks to be turned into magical forest left. But anyway, over here by the Tempestas area, actually a couple of these have grown since I started filming, holy crap. Yeah, so basically, now what I'm doing with these is I'm getting rid of them. Go ahead and put my armor back on, I take it off for the intros. Yeah, so I'm getting rid of them at the moment. The plan with this at the moment now is to basically expand the magical forest area and get enough space to basically make it a 9x9, a solid of, you know, underground, underneath wood for our golems to be able to farm stuff and put it in a chest and, you know, acquire it and control the mana bean world that is Thaumcraft. Anyway, yeah, we want one for all the 6 primals and for Tempestas, because of course Tempestas only comes through magical beans. But we need a whole heap of space for that. I'm not actually sure how close together you can put your beans before, you know, things will be crossbreeding, you know, without your consent, as it were. And I think we actually have, yeah, that actually makes 80, which is what you need for the mana beanage anyway, or maybe 81. 9 times 9 is 81, but I'm thinking of maybe one less for something. Anyway, back to Thaumic Tinkerer. We go ahead and do a recap of the last episode. We researched 3 things up in the Thaumonomicon that we've renamed to Thaumi. We got the Spellbinder's Cloth. We also unlocked this guy over here, Hyper-Energetic Nitor, and I think we also got the Transvector interface. And once I had a look at this sort of stuff off camera, I think I understand this a little bit more. Basically, the idea is, if you've got a machine that has, you know, you want to pipe in more stuff than the machine actually has sides for, then you build yourself one of these so that you can pump extra stuff in. That's the idea behind this, but we haven't really gotten ourselves into a situation where we would need something like this just yet, so we'll go ahead and leave that on the back burner for now. But that's what the Transvector interface is all about. Let's go ahead and get some more research out of the way here today. We've got this thing over here. This sounds really fun, actually. The Essentia funnel. This one's a purchasable for 2 ether and 1 instrumentum. So let's go ahead and pick that up and see what it has to say. But oh, it looks like it's unlocked something. It appears to have unlocked the Thaumic Restorer. That looks interesting as well. So what is this guy? So the flavor text is even transfer. Okay, let's have a look. You grew tired of managing your jars with files. To that, you created this new mechanism to transfer the contents of one into another. Oh, this looks cool. By placing this block above a hopper and right-clicking it with a filled jar, if the hopper is pointing into a jar that's either empty or of the same aspect, the contents of the jar will be transferred over. Nice! That's actually a really nice little item. That's a quality of life thing, is that the right word? Because I've got a whole bunch of these jars that are right over here that are kind of just, you know, sort of filled with aspects, I guess. Like we've got one here that's not quite full, and, you know, those two can be combined. So if you've got a system like me where you've just got a bit of extra Essentia hiding around, that could be really nice. But we've got the Essentia system, which kind of curves around that already. The idea is if we pull Essentia out of a tank and just throw that into our Essentia system, well, that actually is a really nice item, but I'm not going to go ahead and craft that thing right now. I'm guessing that the funnel is probably going to be a part of the Restorer. That would be a brief guess, but that is a really nice item, actually. Alright, let's go ahead and focus on another part of the tree here. We've got the Transvector Dislocator. We can't do that one yet. I think we'll go ahead and get the Cursed Spirit's Blood. I've been looking at this for a decent amount of time, and it looks like a really fun little item. It's a forbidden knowledge for mostly harmless, so that one should be pretty easy to pick up. Just a purchasable for 2 farmes, 1 telum, 1 corpus, and 1 spiritus. So, oh dear. We've picked up some more permanent war, but hopefully not too much. So what does it say about the Cursed Spirit's Blade? You created a sword that strikes with unparalleled force. However, for this to be the case, The sword feeds on the striker's blood. Whoa. Upon damaging anything with this sword, the attacker will take 1 heart of damage. Blocking with this sword will always deal only 1.5 hearts, regardless of the original damage. Okay. Furthermore, simply holding this sword gives the holder a steadfast aura, making them move faster than normal, so they move a little bit faster when you've got this thing out as well. Okay. It's kind of nice. 25% plus 10. Whoa! Plus 10! Plus 10! The void stuff. Let's go ahead and enter the Eldritch tab really quick just to compare. The void tools, they should be under here. Let's get the sword. The sword only does plus 7, which I think is the same as Diamond and the Sword of the Zephyr, but plus 7, plus 10, that is a huge jump. That's a fantastic weapon. It is pretty expensive though, isn't it? Takes a Thaumium sword, you infuse it with some rotten flesh, raw pork chop, raw beef, bones, a diamond, and a ghast here. Those two are obviously the expensive bit. And also the aspects as well. 20 farmers, 6 humanos, 10 spiritus, 5 tenebrae, and that's an instability of high as well, which I'm not too concerned about, but man, that is a nice sword as well. Makes you run faster when you're holding it, I guess. Yeah, so that's what it seems like. It also says something else about it. You've also discovered that the sword can reap the souls of mobs. Oh, okay. Just gotta cut out there for the aforementioned reasons of too many buffers. So, discovered that the sword can reap the souls of mobs instead of normal drops. This ability is activated via shift right click. These souls are rich in Essentia, but you suspect that they might have other uses. You reap the souls of mobs. How do you do that again? Shift click. This is a fantastic sword. This is something that we should probably be gunning for pretty soon, especially if we're going to be fighting something like, oh, I don't know, the Wither. That's going to need to happen at some point. I actually, yeah, still need to get that Nether Fortress bricked up, I think, and just going to hang out there and get some Wither skulls. Wow. That's a cool sword. Let's see what else we can do. We've got the this guy over here, haven't we? The Osmotic enchanter. Okay, this one's not a purchasable. We're actually going to need to pick up our scribing tools and paper to research this one. So let's get those out. Awesome. It's kind of a bit purple. Alright, ooh, that's kind of a bit of a tough one. We've got Cognitio, Pre, Contatio, Aurum, Alienis, and Tenebrae. Well, we might not actually be able to get these two together, so that's Warquos and Tenebrae. Okay. And then Tenebrae itself is made up of looks. Okay, so let's go. Let's see, Alienis. Where was that? Right there. So I think what we'll do is something like Warquos. Let's get started with Warquos, I suppose. Bonk that down there, and try and get these two hooked up. Is just that's what I'm trying to do to start things off. Tenebrae. So that's made of looks. I see. So we could do. There's a lot of crazy stuff that we could do here. We might have to break the rule. We'll see. Looks. I'm just trying to think. Oh, so if we go looks like that, we can actually go iron, can't we? Yeah, that works fairly well, actually. Okay, but Aurum. Okay, Aurum is made of magic and iron. We're already using that, so we're going to have to break the rules somehow. Unless I want to get rid of that, which I don't really want to do. It's a pretty big one. Let's see. Cognitio's got Spiritus in it, so we could sort of curl around like that, maybe, is what we might have to do, depending. Okay, let's get these Spiritus down. Try and save on Ignis if we can for over here. Spiritus, so that's Victus and Mortuus. Let's throw the Mortuus down. And let's see. Maybe this might not work because we've got Warquos being used over here, and that's sort of the aspects that you use for the side. Let's see if I can try and find something that will be useful. Wenenum. Wenenum might actually help here. Yeah, so we might have to go through Wenenum, so let's go like that. Throw down Wenenum. Aqua. And Tempestas should do the trick for this one. We're going to need to purchase one if we want it to regen. But that's those two done, and that didn't use it up, so that's nice. Alright, let's see if we can get these two hooked up. So, that one's got... Okay, we're going to have to use Potentia right there to get that one out of there. And then I think we'll go... Auditor or Ignis? Yeah, I think we'll do Ignis actually, so good on me for saving the Ignis earlier on up there, very nice. Or maybe we could have gone this way. There's a potential possibility. 2, 3, 4. Ah well, we'll see how it goes. Okay, but how are we going to connect to there? So that's magic and air. You know, I think I'll cheat a little bit and just go something like this. And then we'll go Potentia. Okay. That was probably not that great of an idea, just not very inspired. Okay, that's Wakwas right there. I just want to see if I can get out of there without using that. Actually, let's see. So why don't we go Autodo like this? Okay, and then we'll go Sanor. Right. And then how is it going to connect over here? I can't remember now. Oh, I did have a little bit of a plan in my brain before I started, but it kind of just disappeared. Oh dear. What about Wheatium? Yeah, this could be a good opportunity to use up some Wheatium. That's right, I was going to go order Penmutatio, I remember now. Well, let's throw Perditio and Penmutatio. That's not really going to work, though. Wheatium. I feel like Wheatium could be used here somehow. I want to go ahead and use Wheatium. Okay, so that the only other one that connects to is magic, so we'll be using magic for a third time. Let's go ahead and get those back and throw down another Potentia, I guess. Whatever, that works. 3 Potentias and 3 magics used, and yeah, 2 Periditios. That one was pretty hard actually. But anyway, the Osmotic enchanter. What do you got to say about yourself? Let's look this way for a change when we're researching. Huh. Okay, that's unlocked a lot of stuff right there. We've got the enchantment Ascent boost. These are enchantments? Whoa, okay. Slow fall, flaming touch, disintegrate, quick draw, and vampirism? For quick draw sounds like a nice one, obviously on bows. Oh my goodness. Okay, what is this got to say? Picking your luck. Okay. You grew tired of getting terrible enchantments for your efforts. To that, you created a new enchantment table. So what? A new enchantment table, okay. That allows you to pick what enchantments you want to apply to an item, okay. Pick what enchantments you want to apply, okay. Just trying to wrap my head around this. The new contraption requires a wand. Each enchantment requires a specific combination of vis from that wand. Oh, I see, you've got to give it vis, right. The price of the enchantment is exponentially proportional to the level you want to apply. Regular enchantment rules apply. For example, you can't combine Silk Touch with Fortune. Righto. After you select the enchantments you want on an item, click the red button in the interface to start the enchanting process. As the item is being enchanted, you can't take it out of the table, nor can you change the enchantments you are putting on it. The table will slowly drain vis from the wand until it's done. For this to work, there needs to be 6 pillars in the nearby vicinity, 4 blocks. These pillars need to be at the same level of the table. Okay, so Y level. Continued. The pillars need to be made of 2 to 12 obsidian totem blocks stacked on top of each other with a piece of Needhauler on top of them. The enchanter will get flux energy from them, grabbing these from the wand and combining them to enchant the item, right. So flux comes out of these guys somehow. Okay. Lastly, the enchanter will cease to function with iron or copper capped wands due to them being too rustic. Rustic and basic with the complex infusions required. Okay, so you need to use better than your iron capped wands. Fair enough. So that kind of makes sense. By this point, you'd have So yeah, basically this mod, Thaumic Tinkerer, it's almost like it's supposed to sort of be used in tandem with a new game, is what I'm feeling like, because there's a lot of early game stuff right here, blocks to build with, you know, this thing is fairly easy to, well no, that's actually kind of a little bit more on the difficult side to make, and that thing is, you know, end game right there, but, you know, there's stuff here that's relatively easy to make, like this guy as well, but this guy's obviously meant to be got fairly early game, but although the instability though, dangerous. Oh man, yeah, that actually is pretty expensive, isn't it? The Osmotic enchanter, so 5 obsidian tiles, 2 thaumium ingots, and a spellbinding cloth. Okay, so you're going to need to make another one of those, and your bog standard vanilla enchantment table. Okay, as well as a bunch of aspects. I should have all of those aspects saved up in my Essentia system. Wow. The Osmotic enchanter. We're going to have to build this to try it out. But to use it, you've got to build these pillars of obsidian totem as well. How much obsidian totem do I have lying around? Let's just quickly check that. If I had it anywhere, it would probably be... Well, I've got 3 obsidian tiles, but I don't know if I have any totems. Where am I supposed to get totems from? The only thing that I can think totems would come from is those pillars that have these sinister nodes in them. Well, they're not sinister nodes. I noticed that I went by one at night and it spawned an angry zombie, I think. And that's how the angry zombies are in this version of Thaumcraft. Well, the Osmotic enchanter. That seems to be fairly important. And there's a whole bunch of enchantments that you can unlock for it. Well, this thing's going to have its own dedicated episode, I think. I think I'll just go ahead and finish this episode off by researching one more thing, though. We got mob summon. Oh my goodness, mob summoning? That's awesome. Ethereal platform. Transfected. Oh man, what do I want to pick? So many things. So many things. I think we'll finish off with the Thaumic store, so we'll go ahead and pick up that research note, very blue, instrumentum coloured, and sure enough, it's in here. As well as Fabrico. Right, so we're going to have to use Humanos right there. Ordo and Precontatio. So, let's get started. Let's get started indeed. We'll use this guy right here, and I think we'll try and connect these through the darkness. So let's go like that. Periditio. Humanus can go Cogitio Spiritus. If I can find it. There it is. And the Spiritus is not going to connect directly though, is it? It's going to need Mortuus. Yeah. Or maybe I'll throw the Mortuus up the side. That could actually work a little bit in my favour. Putting it up here actually. Right, so this auto is going to need to curve around. Oh, we used auto there. I didn't even think about that. Oh well, whatever. Let's do something like Mortuus and then Ire to break out of there. Might be a good plan. Just to save some juice. Do that. And then Mortuus right here. So Precontatio's got Potentia. Now Potentia's got that. So Ignis. So we'll go Ignis. Lux maybe. Something like that. I'm just trying to think. Sano is probably what I was thinking. Or Wakwas out of there. Could work. And then Tenebrae and Lux actually. That works. So, this one was actually fairly easy. Didn't have to look much up, so there it is, the Thaumic Restorer. Let's go ahead and read about that guy. Oh boy, I bet this guy's going to be pretty sweet. What has it got to say? Less cracks than a potato on a stick. Nice one. You created a new contraption to restore broken tools. Ooh! By right-clicking this block with a broken tool and hooking it to Essentia tubes, it'll gather Essentia to repair the tool. The Essentia will repair items. The Essentia that will repair items is Instrumentum. I say Instrumentum Essentia. Okay. Looking at the block with goggles of revealing also shows how worn out the item in it still is. Redstone current will be emitted while an item is being repaired. Oh, okay, so you can kind of plug this into a redstone system as well. Very nice. Wow. Thaumium block, iron, gold, diamond, cobble, wood, leather, enchanted fabric, and thaumium. So that one's actually fairly nice as well. Well, we'll go ahead and craft up some of this stuff next time. That'll be a fairly cool thing to do. We could try getting this, or maybe one of these, or something along these lines. The Osmotic enchanter, probably not. That'll need its own episode. Yeah, I've done a live stream today, so my voice is starting to get a little bit knackered. So if this episode's a little bit shorter than your average episode, I do apologise. But yeah, the live stream happened. I do weekly live streams, and I did some work here in the Thaumcraft world. Anyway, guys, that is it for this episode of Thaumcraft 4 Addons. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Kia kaha. And I'll see you in the next episode.